When it comes to you taking on the West Coast Eagles, it's nice to actually hear that at the moment they'll be without Darren Glass.
Well, he's a really important player for them, isn't he? So, but they're already on record. The Eagles are saying their depth will cover it, and I think that's been proven correct for the year. They've been able to step up and fill the void. So, yeah, we're just really got to worry about ourselves and our football.
Yeah, well, you do, but at the same time, in your planning and preparation, to know that Glass is not there and maybe without Daniel Kerr, Dean Cox rolled his ankle, all of a sudden there's a bit of a swing when it comes to the injuries because you've had your fair share.
Yeah, we've had a few. Yeah, but I think everyone gets it. I think the Eagles have had their fair share as well. I think there's still a fair bit of... I mean, Kerr's a great player. And Cox, so it sounds like they'll probably play, really. So at this stage, it's just sort of Glass that, so we come out really healthy on the weekend, so it was fantastic. And, really positive first half and a solid third quarter, but really ran out of gas in the last quarter. So we're sort of trying to identify the reasons why for that as well, because that was a bit disappointing in the last quarter.
Yeah, I had Steve, and he was a little bit concerned about that, but I pointed out that, look, over the course of this season, defensively, you must be pretty happy and satisfied at 17 rounds into this season that you are the third best team when it comes to points against. And let's face it, everyone's played everybody now. You're now going through sides a second time.
Yeah, look, it hasn't been something I go and check every week, I know that, but... Look, when we did the analysis, basically the Premiership Grand Final teams were 10 or 11 goals behind them. And I think it was, 6 in attack and 5 in defence. So we worked on one side of the ball, and we certainly need... And contest the ball, we were down as well. So we're a negative team there as well. So I think our contest the ball's about even. Our defence has improved significantly, and the attack... clearly has improved over probably the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, since the midpoint of the season.
Yeah, so we learned a lot of lessons, and we've changed our ball use, changed our structure in front of the ball. So, look, and we're getting some quality players into the team. I think from the last derby, glad I got that right, the last derby, there's, I think, roughly about 8 players difference from last weekend's 22 against Port. So it's quite significant, and, they will have changed as well. But we're really optimistic and looking forward to the challenge.
Nat Fyfe showed his class and his quality. I know that you've got high admiration for him, but to come out and do what he did, particularly in that first half, to really set the scene and lead the way, was an outstanding effort, given he'd been out for so long. Yeah,
well, you obviously played at the level, Carl, and understand how difficult it is. And you're never sure. You're always back in his competitive spirit, and his preparation is going to be first class. But until you go out and get it done, it's always a bit of anxiety there. So, yeah, look, he was really tested out, got in some heavy collisions and all those things. And just he's a natural ball winner, isn't he? He just goes to the ball really well. He slaughtered a few of his possessions. They weren't beautiful kicks or whatever, but just the weight of them gave us some real impetus. And, maybe no coincidence as he faded in the second half. We dropped off a little bit as well. But it was as dominant as we've been, really, against the team, and as physical and as, great pressuring on the ball carrier as we've done for the year, really. And so there's some really good signs for us.
Now, I know that you haven't been in town long, and I know that this game's only worth another 4 points, but as you know, in Perth, it means a little bit more than that, this game, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, look, it's the Carlton Mid-Derby, and it's one of the great rivalries, really, on the national stage, and one we want to add to. And after being in the town a while, you really understand the importance for the football club. Can you hear my wife in the background going off with the kids? That's lovely.
No, I can't.
Yeah, okay. Well, I won't give her a hit up. Yeah, look, it really is significant for our club. Once you've been in this town and you start to understand it's a team town and the pride both supporters take in it. Internally, we need to go about it the same way, but certainly we want to get there. Look, we've beaten everyone around us and below us over the last 4 weeks, but it's important we try and get a scalp above us on the ladder. So, early in the year we were able to get hold of Geelong and the Saints, but, that hasn't happened for a while, and really challenge Sydney. But we're really looking to step it up against a team that sits in the upper echelon of the ladder. And it's our home derby, so there'll be lots of Dockers there, and we're pretty keen to play with a fair bit of passion.
Look, a lot of these derbies over the years, Ross, have meant nothing because of ladder position, and there's been a few that have really had high stakes, and this one has probably had as high stakes as any. And I've broadcast pretty much all of them. Been sitting here at 6PR doing it, and West Coast, you can pretty much finish their top 4 aspirations, and they can effectively make it very difficult for you to make the 8.
Yeah, you're spot on. Like, we just look at our end. We need certainly 3 wins to make the 8, you would think, because of percentage. So this is a really important game. And I know it's important for them as well. You just got to keep winning at this time of year. And finals, you can't rely on other teams losing. So what we want to do is continue to control our own destiny. And you're right, there's a lot at stake. The stakes are raised. There is 4 points, but you're running out of opportunities to get them. So it's a critical juncture for us and them, and so it should. It all builds for a great contest, really.
Now, all personnel out of the weekend, you came through unscathed.
Really healthy, no problem at all, and no problem in the waffle. So Zach Clark, there's a few obvious ones that people would know. Put their hand up for selection. Zach Dawson, Zach Clark. Lockie Neal's been in good form. Joe Van Burlo. Mellington's kicked 4. So what I like is finally pressure's starting to build for spots, so that abodes well for us.
Jack Anthony even booted 5 in a move back up forward.
I did read that. I did read that. I get a report through from our development coaches. So he's starting to reboot, and it's important to salvage something out of the year.
Now, one bloke who wasn't that good the last couple of weeks was Nick Naitanui. He certainly put on a show yesterday.
I haven't watched it. I haven't seen anything. I heard all about it, and they obviously really rolled them. It's a big trip for. Well, the Eagles had been under some pressure, hadn't they? I mean, you keep a temperature check, and they'd lost a couple, so they were pretty keen to bounce back at home. And with their big men dominating, it really gives their little blokes a real lift. So we're going to have to do a lot of planning and preparation to try and break even with Cox and Naitanui, and both of them were dominants last time. I remember Rosa won the medal. I think he had 45. So. And Shuey in the midfield really got hold of us, so we'd like to make amends there, no doubt. And
Aaron Sandlin's still a couple of weeks away?
Yeah, he is. I get asked about him a fair bit, obviously, and he's tracking along really well. He's really keen to play before the end of the year, and the rehabbers are saying that's possible. So when I see it, I believe it. But he is. It's not like he's not training. He's doing 150s and doing a fair bit of work. And it's very, sorry for umming, but it's a really similar situation to last year, but less severe. So if you go in that time frame, I think he come back at 6 and he had to hurt it. So they're saying it should have been an 8-week. This is a bit less severe, so you can draw a line from that be touch and go with a couple to go.
Now, I made the statement on Saturday morning that if I was picking the All-Australian squad, that Michael Johnson and Luke McFarlane would have to be in that squad at this point in the season. Do you concur with that? Do you think that those two players should be in there?
I think, they could be in the squad. I think, Michael was super early, probably tailed off a little bit and just started to get going. But I think Luke's year has just been one of consistently at a very high level, and his best game, he was just flu-ridden against Melbourne. Probably shouldn't have played, and it was a game where he had to stand up, and that's what leaders do. They dig in, and they're mentally tough, find a way to get it done, and he was outstanding. That he just looked at me and said, "I'll get it done, don't worry about it." And so, it's great that your leaders can play with that sort of level of mental toughness, and his body hasn't missed a beat. He does every session. We don't need to manage him, and because coming over here, he's managed a lot, and so it's a credit to Luke and his preparation. But particularly, they've both been really solid, but I'd have Luke marginally ahead, no doubt.
Now, I think you said post-match, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that you spoke about Port roughing you up, and it made you even more satisfied. Well, you might get another taste of that this week if history comes back to repeat itself.
Well, we're happy to roll up and get it on, isn't it? Let's get ready to rumble. So it's just, you pick up vibes, opposition, and they were really, obviously, Port, and to their credit, they weren't shying away and seeing us as an opportunity and a scalp to get and get in the finals road. So we just, as a coach, your job's to put your players on red alert, really, understand what's coming as they go down the race. And I know we all say it's the same every week, but it really is a real understanding what's coming at you, so you're on the front foot and you're prepared. And I just thought we're really, our attack on the ball and the man was first rate, and but this is a bigger challenge. The Eagles have stood the test of time for a year and a half now. So they were down and out for about 3 or 4 years, and then they kicked, and they started to believe in themselves. So now they've got a real belief, and we're still building that. So at the end of the day, it's going to be up to the players getting it done, isn't it? But I'm sure we'll be passionate. We want to play some uncompromising footy and see where it takes us.
Look forward to seeing it build up during the week. Ross, thanks very much for your time tonight.
No worries, Cole. You handled it on your own brilliantly.
Good on you. I'll let you get back to the family.
Can you hear him? I'm going to give him a cook now.
Well, if you take the phone in, I might be able to hear him.
Have a good night.
See ya. Good on you. Ross Lyon there. We will get into the Eagles.